Will microdosing magic mushrooms get you to live longer? Will it extend your life? The answer is actually going to surprise you. Welcome to Microdose U. I am Dr. Dave.
Enter the world of magic mushrooms with Microdose U.
Hey there, welcome. Thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate you. I do. Without you, I wouldn't have a show. So thanks so much for being here. And I got to tell you, last episode, I made an announcement I hadn't done this for a long time, but I'm asking you to please go onto either Spotify or Apple Podcasts and give me a rating and or a review. 5-star if you really believe it's a 5-star podcast, which I hope you do because I put so much energy into every single episode. But I've noticed though that like I said last time, Apple was always so far ahead. We had so many more reviews on Apple, but Spotify is catching up. And you Spotify people are killing it. And I'm worried about the Apple people because Apple is not lagging behind yet, but I think shortly it might be if you Spotify people keep killing it like you are. So anyway, wherever you are, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you might be, I really appreciate you, and I appreciate anything you do for the show. And again, giving it a rating or review helps just so much. It takes a couple seconds to get in there and just click 5 stars. And again, I wouldn't ask you to do anything that you don't believe in, but how could you not believe this is not a 5-star show? Come on. I mean, look at what you're getting. So anyway, let's get into today's episode. And remember, always in the show notes, there are important links, and as well as on my website, Microdose U, the letter U, microdoseu.com. Let's get into it. Can microdosing magic mushrooms extend your life? Will you live longer if you're a microdoser? Well, the answer, like I said in the intro, the answer might surprise you. My answer is going to be not directly. So in other words, just simply by consuming psilocybin or magic mushrooms, it's not going to get you to it's not going to do something magical that's going to get you to live longer. However, and this is very, very important, the changes that microdosing magic mushrooms makes in your brain, in your neural pathways, remember the rewiring, that is the key that's going to change and yes, possibly extend your life. And I'm going to explain that. But yeah, that's the key. The rewiring, the neuroplasticity of your brain is you change the way you see things. I mean, as evidence, I think the last episode I did, was the last episode on are we living in a simulation and what happens when you die? So you just start to think very, very deeply about many things. Now, of course, I know many of you, maybe you even, started with this. You met me, you listened to the podcast, or you watched me here because you're experiencing some mental health issues. That's definitely by far the most common reason that people start microdosing magic mushrooms and get involved in this community and listen to my podcast and want to know more. Depression, anxiety, PTSD, you know the list. However, like I've said to you so many times, everything is connected and we just can't do things in a vacuum. And you can't just say, okay, the only thing I want to do is improve my mental health and then I'm good. Well, that's not really true because everything's connected. And since I started microdosing, I've noticed changes in different aspects of my life. Now, again, the mental health issues have pretty much they're gone, they're done. However, am I done with magic mushrooms? No, because they are showing me the light. They're showing me the path towards better health in many ways. And again, if you think that only your mental health issues are important and you're putting your physical health secondary, again, it's all connected. Some of the most common reasons for mental health issues start with physical things that are going on. We've talked about this, but just in case you're brand new, I'll just review a couple of them, a few. Sleep apnea, the quality of your sleep, and if you have sleep apnea, that is a sure way to start having issues with your mental health as well, because you're oxygen deprived. And when you're oxygen deprived, then things start happening with your organs, your blood pressure, your heart, and yes, your mental health for sure. That is one of the main reasons I think that I was experiencing depression and anxiety, because of sleep issues, because of sleep apnea. So again, if um, you haven't gotten checked yet for sleep apnea, I highly recommend this. And again, what does all this have to do with living longer? That was the teaser at the beginning of the show. Will magic mushrooms help you live longer? Well, yes, because I'm seeing things so deeply now with my brain being rewired. I'm looking into my health on a level that I've never looked into it before. And when I go for my physical, and by the way, I recommend you get at least an annual physical. And when I say an annual physical, I mean a very, very comprehensive annual physical. You want to know everything that's going on, because again, it's all connected. If you get diagnosed with obstructive sleep apnea, I can almost guarantee you that your blood pressure is up and you've got some depression and or anxiety. I can almost guarantee it. And I can almost guarantee that if you get treated for it properly, I say properly because some people are, think they're being treated, but it's not really the best treatment. Then I can almost guarantee that your blood pressure goes down and your mental health issues just start to melt away. And of course, you would be less likely to have a heart attack, a stroke, things like that if you're taking care of things like sleep apnea. And many people have it. And you might think, well, I don't have sleep apnea. Why does she keep talking about that? Well, many people have it that are totally undiagnosed. And you don't have to be a snorer. Maybe your spouse or your significant other or your partner, whoever it is, that your bed partner never tells you that you snore. You still could have sleep apnea. I'm telling you, get checked for it. Get a sleep study. It's inexpensive, it's easy, and it could save your life. But being a microdoser, you're going to be looking deeper at many things going on in your life. I've got somebody I know. We were talking the other day, and he's got some issues with his lipid panel, his cholesterol and all the things that go along with cholesterol, your lipid panel, and advanced lipid panel. And his doctor, I think, put him on maybe a statin, or they noticed something was high. And so this was a while ago, though. But I said to him the other day, I said, well, tell me, how are you doing now? Like, is it getting any better? Is your statin helping out? And his answer to me was, put his hands up like, I don't know. And he's a friend, so I didn't want to give him a really hard time, because he didn't really ask to talk about this. But in my mind, I'm thinking, like, how can you not be interested in your own health? Like, okay, you've got some issues with your blood work. Your doctor is trying to correct them. And now you say you have no idea how it's working out. Well, you should have an idea, and you should be interested. And you should, when you get a physical, you should understand every single thing on that report. You don't have to become an MD. No, you don't have to become an MD, but you can research things if some of your blood chemistry is off, or your nutrients, vitamins, minerals, whatever they might be, or if they're off, if they're high, if they're low. You should understand not only that they are, but why are they? What are you doing to improve it? What are you doing to fix it? What are the ramifications? If, for example, if you have low B12, if your vitamin B12 is low, and many people that are vegan or vegetarian and they're not eating animal products, especially some red meat is important. You could have very low B12, and what's that going to affect? It affects your nervous system. And one of the things is absolutely depression and anxiety, low B12. Some people, when they get that corrected, their depression and anxiety like go away almost immediately, like very quickly. So why wouldn't you want to know about all of this stuff? Again, I'm not turning you into an MD, but what I want you to do is I want you to find, if you don't have a doctor yet, if you don't have a good, like a really great doctor, then I want you to find the best doctor in your area or one of the best in your area. I want you to go in and have a complete physical, head to toe. They look at everything. And when you get the report back and go over it with your doctor, ask questions. And again, if something is off on your blood work, ask how to correct it. Don't just start watching things and hope for the best. Usually you have to do something to correct it. So some of the things that I've done since I started microdosing to like change my life and hopefully extend my life, because again, you can't do anything about your chronological age, but your biological age, like how you actually, how you feel and how you're, how you actually are, forgetting about chronological, how your body actually is biologically, you can change that. You can absolutely change that. Some of the things I've changed since I started microdosing. First of all, I am on a list of supplements that I have with my doctor, but I did a lot of research on my own and I picked out a lot of these very important supplements. And I think, and it's been quite some time now, and I think they've changed my life. They changed my health because when I go in for my blood work now and my physical, things are like pretty much right on the money. Now, do I ever have to work on something? Yes. But that's the beauty of this. You get the report, you see what's a little bit off, and you start to work on it. But things like my blood pressure, a few years ago, that was on the high side. It was never like dangerously high, except for that one infamous night that I think I talked to you about when I had to go to the ER. That was an anomaly, and that was really weird. And that's what woke me up to the fact that I better do something about my health, mental and physical. But my blood pressure, I'm continuing to work on that. It's normal. It's normal now. And I owe that to a low dose of some medication that I'm on, but more importantly, my lifestyle, my diet, and my supplements. We can totally change the way our bodies are by changing some things in our lifestyle and what we ingest into our body and how we move our body. So again, when I talked to my friend and I said, "Well, so how are you doing with it? How's your cholesterol now?" And he again shrugged his shoulder. I don't know. I mean, don't you care? I would be researching that. I wouldn't be obsessing, but I would be doing everything in my power to make sure that all those numbers were right. I would do whatever it took. I would change my diet, and I have changed my diet because again, I had my cholesterol has always been very good, but when you dig deeper into the high density lipoprotein, low density lipoprotein, and even deeper into that particle size, particle number, it's very deep. You can't these days. You can't just get a cholesterol reading and say my cholesterol is 160, everything's great. No, you've got to go much deeper. Talk to your doctor about that. Talk to your doctor about high density, low density lipoprotein, particle size, particle number. They could even go deeper than that, but a lot don't. But again, this is what microdosing has taught me. My body is sacred. I only get one body. I only get one chance at this. Why not do everything I can to feel good every single day, not only mentally, but physically? And if you're feeling great mentally, but you're physically in horrible shape, you're not going to feel good mentally. It's impossible. If you're carrying 80 extra pounds, you're sedentary, your blood sugar is not is not regulated. There's no way you're going to be feeling good mentally. It's impossible. Think about it. It's impossible. So yeah, yes, I am passionate about this. You understand. You hear my voice. I am passionate about this. Something else I would like you to get checked out. And again, not all doctors are doing this, but I think it's so important. It's something called, I want you to write this down, HSCRP, high sensitivity C reactive protein. Do you know what that is? Okay, if you don't know, here's what it is. It's a marker for inflammation in your body. When you're inflamed, that's going to cause disease, especially heart disease. Because when you're inflamed, when you've got inflammation, generalized inflammation, I'm not talking about inflammation because you had a cold and that goes away. I'm talking about generalized chronic inflammation in your body. You're going to have problems. That's where diseases start. And that's where, um, in your coronary arteries, the arteries in your heart, that's where plaque starts to form, and inflammation is going to cause more plaque buildup. And that's the precursor to heart disease. Why wouldn't you want to know about this stuff? Why wouldn't you want your doctor to look into this? I'm telling you, HSCRP, high sensitivity C-reactive protein. Get tested for it and find out if you're normal or if you're, a little bit high or way high. And then if you find you've got inflammation, there are things that you can do. I'm doing all of them. I've had reports where my inflammation was, my HSCRP was a little bit higher than it should be. And I don't like that. And I'm doing everything in my power. I tell you what, I am gonna go ahead and do an episode again on everything I'm doing I'm on an anti-inflammatory diet. I take supplements. I eat natto, which is Japanese fermented soybeans, extremely, extremely heart healthy. But my point is, I wasn't really doing this before microdosing. Microdosing has changed the entire outlook, the way I see my life. And yeah, we might be in a simulation, but it doesn't matter. That makes no difference because we still can change things in our bodies and with our health and extend our lives. I mean, again, this stuff is to me, and I hope to you, I'm only doing it because I know this stuff already. And now I'm always learning more, but I know this. I'm sharing it with you because I want you to be in the same situation that I'm in. You've microdosed or you're starting to microdose. You're realizing things because your brain is being reshaped and rewired. You're realizing things now about your life that you've never realized before, and you're taking them much more seriously. I want you and all of my other followers, everybody else listening to this, and you, of course, you are first and foremost, but everybody else listening as well, to take this very seriously and do everything you can for your mental and physical health. Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I can't do it today because I don't even have my list in front of me. But the more I think about it, I want to go ahead and do another episode on everything I'm doing to be healthier, as far as supplements, eating, anti-inflammatory diet, exercise. And I'll tell you something else. I used to be a marathon runner, and I used to do some extreme stuff, but I tell you, I'm not so convinced that's good for you anymore. I'm not running any more marathons. I think moderate exercise is probably the best. And the people that are doing these like incredibly long distance, like triathletes and all this, the stuff that I call it just craziness. For a while, they might look like, okay, they're like incredibly healthy because not many people can run a triathlon or finish a triathlon. However, is it really as good as it looks? Is it really good for your health and good for your body? I am not so sure it is anymore. I'm not so sure. I think it puts a toll on your cardiovascular system, and not necessarily in a good way. We don't need to be extreme athletes to be super healthy. My grandfather, my maternal grandfather, was not an athlete. He moved his body a little bit, but not even that much. And he lived to be 106 years old. And I don't think many triathletes are living to 106. I mean, I don't think many people in general live to 106, but he, just by doing a few things right, he was able to live a really, really long life. So I'm hoping I have his genetics. I'm not sure. You never know. And I'm not counting purely on genetics because you have to be responsible for your health. So circling back now to the very beginning of the show, can and will magic mushrooms make you live longer? The answer is not magic mushrooms alone, but they will change the way you think and see your health and participate in your own health. And that, in effect, will allow you to live a much longer, healthier, more productive, and more comfortable and more fun life. And that's what it's all about. And who wants to live a life that they're not even having fun? I sure wouldn't. I don't want to live to 100 years old, but I hate my life and I'm dreading every day. No, it's everything is kind of everything's related, and you've got and I've shared so many things with you in so many episodes here about how you can just kind of like enjoy every day and float through. And I really hope you're taking it seriously because I want you to do this. I want you to feel great every single day. Okay, remember, we have a brand new episode that comes out every Wednesday and Friday. We've got a webinar coming up. It's going to be in September. I think it's going to be, I got to check my calendar. Believe it's early September. So I'm going to start talking about that pretty soon, but it's going to be perhaps one of the best ones I've ever done, along with Dr. Denise Moret. We've got something we're sharing with you that everybody wants to know more about this topic, and we're going to be sharing this with you. It's going to be great. So again, just stay tuned. Look, check the website out, microdoseu.com, and if you stick with us on the podcast, you'll definitely hear about it. That's coming up in about I think about a month or so, about month and a half, something like that. But we're preparing for it now. It's going to be awesome. Awesome. Can you say awesome? Okay. I gave you enough information for today. I hope it's life changing. It really should be life changing. And I will see you next time. What's today? Today is Wednesday, right? So I'll see you Friday. See you in a couple days. And I've got a great one for you, I promise. So until next time, Dr. Dave, I love you and thanks for being with me here on Microdose U.